Hello, so this is episode 2 of the Lux Podcast. This recording is for June 1st, 2016. I'm here with Jeremy Champranavong, owner of JCD Designs.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, very, very excited today. This is our second episode, and you all may notice that we sound slightly different. We've switched to some different equipment, so we hope you can hear us and understand us a little better than the first run through. All right, so the first topic for today, I guess we should get some of the announcements through first. So I believe there is something that you have planned for the website.
Yeah, so we have a Memorial Day sale, 40% off all items. If you go to jcdshoes.com, that's jcdshoes.com, and click on sales, and there's a code for you. It is the code FREEDOM, and it's on the website as well, if you guys forget. And when you finish, select it to your cart, you put in the coupon code, and you receive automatically a 40% off. And we have a new collection called the Pinup Fetish Collection, which is 1950s inspired fetish pinup shoes, which is a true 6-inch heel. That's right, it's true 6-inch with the platform and without the platform. So, and it's not customizable because it's a collector's item. So I'm very much passionate about this, going back to my burlesque roots. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, I'm sure you all will be happy to take advantage of some of those things. I was taking a look at some of the fetish heels when you were preparing them, and I can say that they look quite awkward to walk in.
It's not for the faint at heart.
and that does bring up a good topic. Like as far as walking in heels, I've seen some women who could stand to it seems like some of them may be hurting their feet. So I'm not sure if they're not wearing the right size or if they're just uncomfortable with it. Like from your point of view, Jeremy, like what is the reason that you've seen behind the awkward tilting and weird positions you've seen some women go through when wearing heels?
Well, when you choose a heel, when you go shopping for a heel, it's like you need a good matchmaker, basically. And that matchmaker is a sales associate. Ask some questions about, will this be comfortable or not? Because, a heel that appeals to you that's going to be 6 inches might not work in your everyday life or even for 2 hours of your life, going out to a date or something. For 6 inches, some people can't pull that off because the pitch is going to be too tremendously high for your feet, and you're not going to get that much. I mean, it is arch support, but your feet's like elevated like this. You know what I mean? Like you need leeway to walk. So for that, ask the sales associate on what heels are appropriate for your lifestyle. For me to, if I can stand on my tippy toes and the back of the heel, the back of my heel can come out of the shoe, that's when I know that I'm comfortable, that it's comfortable to walk in. And but at the same time, it's going to be too loose at the same time. I'd rather have a loose shoe than to have a tight shoe. And I'd rather have a shoe that's much more walkable than to have a shoe that I can only sit down in.
It sounds like you were kind of giving instructions on the best way to size your heels when you're going to purchase them.
Yeah, so the best way to size your heel is different designers have different sizing charts. They can use European sizes, or they can use US sizes, or even Australian sizes too, which there's a lot of countries have different metric systems in for shoes. So for me, the sales associate will best help you. But I would say this: if they don't have your shoe the size that you want, and you can elevate to a half a size up, go ahead and get that. Because you can always put foot pedals into your feet. Like I said before, I'd rather have a loose shoe than a very very painful kind of a very painful shoe to walk in.
Yeah, so yes, I'm sure we've all had those situations where you have really really tight materials that would force your feet into weird shapes and things. I've seen all kind of stuff out there, and that kind of reminds me and brings me to the topic of materials of different types of shoes. I mean, we know that leather and different types of polyplastics are, there are many more than just leather and multi-plastics. So from your experience, like, what are some of your shoes made out of, and why did y'all go with that decision for those types of materials?
Yeah, we have a lot of fabric in our factory. So we usually use Napa calf leather, or we use kid leather, which is goat leather, young goat leather. And we use sheep leather as well. And we do use PVC and PU, but that's kind of a design aspect of the shoe. But the reason why we use more leather is because it's quality, and it stands the test of time. And with faux leather, if it's going to be PU leather, it's going to wear out. When you scratch it or scuff your shoe, when you fall through a grate or you fall in a manhole, or not fall in the manhole, but when you step on a crack, cobblestone, it's really hard to repair the shoe. With leather, you take it to a shoe cobbler and he can stitch it right up for you, and it will look brand new or newer than what was damaged. And for leather, it's an investment piece. And it molds to your feet more than plastic, or latex. We do have latex shoes that are coming out, and some designs and details of latex and PVC, but that's for another everyday woman, which is the much edgier woman. We use patent leather as well for the more sexy and seductive woman, but you can also wear that for an everyday outfit too if you have a jumpsuit or a pantsuit. So my leathers, to answer your question, Alvin, it's all eclectic fabrics and tanners, leathers that are tanned by everyday researchers of women and men.
Do you have some type of vegan option for people who don't want to wear animal products?
We will in the future. The whole thing about having vegan products too is we really want to put the price range of our products to to cater to everybody, obviously, but it wouldn't be fair if we made a product that was cheaper than the leather product. You know what I mean? Because people are spending their hard-earned cash on they're spending more money on leathers than they are on synthetic leathers. We will in the future create possibly a collection, but right now my whole lifestyle, is leathers. It stands the test of time, and for me, the vegan options isn't the direction I'm going in.
Now that you bring up the different types of leather and why you have gone with them because of their durability, kind of begs the question: the difference between a pair of shoes that are extremely cheap, let's say somewhere in the low 30s, to
Oh
a
my
pair of
God.
shoes that are topping 100.
Mhm.
What do you normally see in as far as durability in those price ranges, starting with the bottom, starting with that pair of shoes that's like $35 a pair?
Oh my gosh. Well, If you purchase a shoe that's 30, like I seen shoes that were less than 30, Alvin, like $15 on Amazon. And you know what? I purchased not even a handful of times, but I wanted to see the whole style and the whole durability of it and how it wears because I like the style. I do. The the difference between a shoe that's under that are $30 and lower is that the people that are making it aren't putting that much effort into it. I'm sorry for you guys and gals that are getting those shoes, but once you get them and you do the test too, when you wear those shoes each every day as a woman, I know you have collections as well, like you have your party shoes that you paid $30 for, but if you wear them for every other day, nighttime, or every weekend, wear that same shoe for that season and see how durable they are. It's not going to be durable. Your heel's going to come off. You saw my cheap heels come off. The heel part that came off. I'm not saying that designer that shoes that are $100 and more don't do that, but it's less. It's more rare for them to do it, but for $30, you're paying for $30 basically. The leather scuff up even more than shoes that are $100 and above. The soles wear off more. The outsoles wear off more, and there's no effort into making the shoe. It looks so. I know it sounds bad. It's very very cheap.
How about comfort? Like, have you noticed the difference between comfort and those two different tiers of shoes?
I bought shoes from discounted shoe stores and generic brands are $30, and oh my gosh, when they said comfort, I said where? Where's the comfort? It looks pretty. I suck it up, but comfort, it's not really there. I know that Alvin's my partner, guys. I know that you, Alvin, you purchased a boot from one of these stores before, and you said that they hurt.
Indeed. As far as men's shoes, we went ahead and I picked up a pair of boots that I thought was pretty well priced. It was, I believe, in the mid-30s to maybe mid-40s, and I thought it was a bargain. I wore the shoes, and in the job I used to do last year, I was a computer technician, and it's a lot of walking around. I'm always on my feet, and I wore those shoes throughout the whole day. And in the weeks to come, my feet started to develop a sore spot just underneath the actual ball of the foot. So it basically, even to this day, I still have the injury. So if I walk on, if I put too much pressure on the ball of my foot, it's sore now. And after all these years, I still have that problem. So I look at it like this now. I feel like you only have one pair of feet. You can buy many pairs of shoes. You can buy one good pair of shoes for hundreds of dollars, and it will treat your feet better.
Right.
So I feel like you owe it to yourself, because you're going to have those feet for the rest of your life. If it's going to cost you a couple $100, do it, because you're going to miss your feet when you mess them up.
Right, exactly. But also, well, there's some shoes out there that are very very uncomfortable. I know that I have shoes that are very very flattering to look at, and I paid a lot of money for them, like up for $100 up to $2,000 for them, and they hurt my feet. The soles are beautiful, red soles, but they just hurt my feet. And and this designer has good shoes too. I'm sure you guys know the designer I'm talking about, but they have shoes that are beautiful, but they're so uncomfortable. And for me, that's not an everyday woman's life. For me, if I was gonna feel uncomfortable, I would rather be sitting down. So this line is good for events, not for everyday though. There are designers out there that do make uncomfortable shoes. Now, going back to Alvin, he made a little purchase. He actually bought 2 designer shoes that he loves and he wears about, not occasionally, but he rotates the shoes, and those shoes are made beautifully. Can you tell us about your shoes that you purchased? Those two.
Well, it was something that I thought, again, remember I came from a background where I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy these $40 shoes because they look good. In that case, they were boots. These are dress shoes, and the way the shoes are made, they're handmade. They're leather soled shoes. My first pair, and they also have a calf leather on the inside. And overall, they're just incredibly comfortable. They have like a premium feel, and it gave me appreciation for what it means to when you actually spend extra money on shoes. It if you get it from the correct or a well named brand, a brand that kind of takes pride in their designs, they usually come with certain things inside. For example, there's like a plaque inside that tells you the actual name of the shoe. There's actually some handwritten things on side of the tongue of the shoe. So there's a lot of premium feels that you get with the shoes.
And you get dust bags.
Oh yes, and they're dust bags, which I put them back in every day when I get the shoes. And for a side note, I know some of the men who may be listening to the podcast is for men's shoes, especially premium leather soled shoes. It's very important that you use shoe trees.
I think that's for all men's shoes that are premium.
It's very, very important. I didn't know what a shoe tree was, so if you're out there and you didn't know what a shoe tree was, don't feel bad. Shoe trees have multiple actual uses, but the major use for a leather shoe, if you walk all day in them, your feet will actually start to get soaked with sweat. The shoe trees are usually made out of cedar, and it will suck that actual moisture away at the end of the day and actually bring it into the wood. And then it kind of has a dual thing where that cedar will actually freshen the shoe back up. And the third thing that the shoe tree does is it kind of stretches the leather out and keeps the shoe from curling up. If you ever see any of these men out there who have nice premium shoes, but then you notice they curl up at the toe really, really badly, that's a sign that this gentleman has worn a pair of shoes for a while. He hasn't put a shoe tree in it a day of the shoe's life. And it's really, really sad, especially if the shoe has been around, if the shoe is like $200 or more, $300, $400 shoes, and they haven't been treated properly. And the shoe trees don't cost much. They're like $20 in some places or cheaper. I think every pair of premium shoes should actually have a pair of shoe trees in them.
For sure. And I see him do it like every time he comes back home, putting the shoe tree inside of his inside of the pairs that he's wearing, for all of his shoes actually, not just for those designer shoes, but I'm seeing that it's maintaining the structure of the shoe, and it stretches it out a little bit too, and it's a good shoe. It's a good thing to break in as well for much more comfort during the day, and also it makes your shoe smell like the woods, basically, like you've been, I don't know, playing around with the wood nymph. That sounds really, really bad, but it seems like you're skipping in cedar or something like that. I don't know. It smells odorless. The only odor that you smell, not odor, the only scent you smell is cedar. It's wonderful. It's phenomenal.
And that kind of brings us over to, as far as proper care, this podcast, we also do fashion and makeup, and these categories can be applied to both fashion and makeup. I mean, there are many brands of clothing out there where if you go with the cheaper alternative, you can get by with wearing it for a while. But there have been times where that same piece of clothing, when you go to pull it out of the closet, or if you go to wash it, you may find that it may not last as long as a more expensive piece of clothing. So I guess my next question to you, Jeremy, would be, what have you noticed with, going with brands that are a little cheaper versus going with brands that cost a little more?
Generalizations of that, you have to feel the product. There is brands out there that are luxury style brands that when you wash or when you take it to dry cleaners, the integrity goes away of the clothing. And once you do an accident, like put it in a dryer. When it's the instructions is to air dry it or tumble dry, and you put a little bit heat, it could be very, very damaging to luxury brand items. Now, for cheap brands, um, I'm more of an accessory type of guy. I love jewelry. I love handbags. I love shoes. So, and I love makeup. And this will count. That will go to makeup as well. You're paying for what you get for. Now, brands like Forever 21, it looks cute and everything, but you know, once you wear it for about a year, I won't even give it a year, 5 months, it's going to deteriorate. If you go into department stores like Macy's, they have Polo, Ralph Lauren, they have Tommy Hilfiger, they have Nautica. Those are going to last you a little bit longer than the chains that are cheaper and much more appealing to your wallet. You can go into Nordstrom's too and pick out a couple pairs of apparel and compare it to, let's say, Forever 21 or H&M, and see how long it lasts. Once it deteriorates, you're gonna see what you're paying for. I don't like to buy a pair that are expensive because I want to change my style anyways. You know what I mean? Heck, I don't like to. I mean, I'm not going to go into Forever 21 and get a shirt, but I'll actually go into H&M and get a shirt. I'll go into Nordstrom's and stroll around the clearance rack for cheap designer items. Or Old Navy. Old Navy has a lot of good items, lots and lots of good items. And Taylor Loft has good items as well. So it's a little bit pricey too. But if you are the woman that likes to save and likes to change your apparel, then stick to what you're doing and going to those stores that are less less drainful, less stressful on your wallet than department stores. And it goes the same way for makeup as well. The cheaper the makeup you get, the more problems you'll have with your skin. And that is true. It happens to me all the time. And if you're going to get drugstore makeup, make sure that you get a reputable brand than to get a generic, like another generic brand of that company. It's like you are what you eat and you are what you put on your face, basically. And you are what you put on your body. You just really need to beware. And there's clothing stores out there that I would say be very, very careful about. And it kind of targets demographics too. Stores that say get 15 dresses for $30. Now, if that's the case, they're getting it from wholesale price. It's not going to last you for a long time. Maybe you can wear it for one night. It might break in a matter of a couple hours.
That and in many cases, what we found is that in some of those discount stores, they're getting those clothes discounted because there's some kind of defect.
Right, and it's a lot of times they're getting it from wholesale prices. I know that it's not just apparel too. If you see, shoes only $15, get 2 pairs for $15. That's the thing that you want to gravitate away from. Because even if it's not a heel, girls and guys, even if it's not something expensive or something, I can't say it for guys, but if it's not a heel, lady, if it's a heel, ladies, and it's cheap like that, you're going to have to walk away because you only have one pair of feet. And once you damage it, it can affect you throughout your whole lifetime. What Alvin said. So, gravitate away from discount places that charge you $10 to $15 for a pair of shoes. That's all I can say.
Now, if you're in the bind and you and that's all you can do at that point in time, I don't see any major issue as far as like a risk to the feet. if you don't use it as much. See, where I ran into trouble is that I used them for work, and I used to work where I basically was up on my feet all day long. So it was consistent use. If you kind of circle them around, if you don't wear the same pair of if you don't wear that same pair of shoes every day, if you have slightly better shoes that you can cycle in, maybe that pair of shoes will last you a little bit longer and it won't hurt your body as much.
Well, to defend from what you were saying, I understand what you're saying, sweetheart, humbear. But that's why they're not going to be wearing it every day. I'm assuming, yes, that's true. But that's why you have investment pieces. You know what I mean? Something that you can store in your closet and take out when you need it for a special occasion. And that could be, a shoe that is $100. $100 doesn't go a long way anymore, but still, it's you want to rather pay $100 for a $600 shoe. You know what I mean? So for that, you would have that classic pointed toe pump or that classic almond toe pump in your closet, black or nude. And you'll have that special shoe that you wear once in a blue moon for a special occasion. And you'll take that shoe out, and you already have a shoe to go. What women are doing wrong is that they're not investing their money into a shoe. You know what I mean? They want to build a collection. They're getting cheap shoes as possible, and they don't wear it, first of all. And they're building up all these cheap collections. And if you would have that one shoe that you invested in, you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go if it's an event, an interview for that matter, an event, an interview, a red carpet event, something like that, or the clubs. Like, you'll have that basic classic toe pump to go back to, and that's why I'm saying invest your money. I'd rather for you girls to put in $50 into a shoe than to pay $10 for a pair of shoes. And that's what I'm telling you. That's not going to last you for a long time. And I'm sorry, just I would walk away. I would definitely walk away from that store.
One of the things that I think we haven't quite talked about, because this podcast is fashion, it is also makeup as well. And you kind of threw out a few things about makeup, but these same not arguments, but these same qualities can be kind of applied to makeup as well. What have you seen as far as how makeup has been treating different people's skin? Because I've seen a lot of people with weird skin blemishes and things, and we know that some of this can be from genetics, some of this can be from improper application. People who like to put foundation on with their bare hands without washing. So I guess my question to you would be, like, how do you feel that this whole segment applies to makeup?
Like I said before, too, for makeup, you are what you eat. And taking things that aren't good for your body or splurging all the time isn't going to be, it's going to be problematic for your skin. And putting things that have nickel on your skin or has, if you buy like a imported makeup that is from a warehouse and it's cheap, and you're like, oh wow, this is just like MAC, or this is just like Estee Lauder, then that's it's counterfeited. And that'll be for next segment, counterfeit items. But I ordered this palette on Amazon. I forgot the name of it, and it came from China. And I thought it was too good to be true, so I ordered it. When I put it on, it smelled like chemicals. It broke me out in a matter of 5 hours. It was just so thick and oily, and felt like I was absorbing it in your skin. I put on primer too, girls, and that broke me out. For that, for brands like that, or for wholesales, I don't get anything wholesales, actually. I rather just go to the drugstore, get CoverGirl makeup. When I say CoverGirl is fabulous makeup. It's really it has Olay. Some of the product has Olay serums in it. You know, drugstore makeup are there. You know, if it's bad for your skin, it wouldn't be in the store. CoverGirl, I use a lot. Maybelline, I use Neutrogena. I use, and I also use Estee Lauder. And you know, I'm an Estee Lauder fanatic, babe. But you know, I like to. It's not about splurging. It's about, you know, giving your skin something else to try on. I know out there's foundations that actually, and I'm going to price range now, a foundation there that literally costs $200, and I'm not going to splurge to that amount. But heck, if it's good for your skin and you have the money, go ahead and get it. But cheap makeup, wholesale makeup, for everybody, do not get. And don't sleep with your makeup on. That's very, very bad for your skin. Make sure you tone and moisturize every day and night, 2 times a day. 3 times is fine too. 4 times, it's a little bit more obsessive, and it's really bad for your skin because you actually need those probiotics on your face. You need those good bacteria to counteract different things that is polluted in the air. It will very much help. It's like a barrier. But for the makeup lines I like to use is CoverGirl, Estee Lauder. I love Estee Lauder. I use the Body Shop a lot, and the Body Shop is cruelty free, and a lot of stuff that are from the Body Shop is vegan friendly. I also like NYX Cosmetics, NYX. It's really good priced makeup, and that's not wholesale. It's actually an entity behind that company, obviously. So for the heels, I think a good, if it depends on which kind of job you're working for shoes. I'm gonna say shoes in general. So I think if you are working a 9 to 5, as you know, working as a file clerk or at a cubicle at a desk, I think a good 3.5-inch heel would help, or even a 3-inch if you want to look good and you want to have a little bit of height to you. Now, if you're an event planner, I feel that, or in the entertainment industry, a good 4-inch heel without a platform, so a single sole platform, pointed toe, would be good for you because you're only going to be there for a short amount of time. And if you want to platform as well, I like platforms, but not for me. But if I see it in a woman, it looks beautiful. Wear it too. In addition, you have additional height to your body, and that will elongate your whole body. If you are a retail associate wearing heels, I think a good 2.5-inch would work out for you, because you're going to be on your feet. And my shoes, a lot of my shoes are customizable to fit your lifestyle, and it's comfortable as well. So for me, it will be the Neo Erica. That's a good retail pump right there. It has memory foam, and it's already a 2.5-inch heel, so it's a kitten heel if you like to put it in that perspective. I would say a low heel. Kitten heel is much more lower than 2.5, but it's a good staple to have if you're a retail worker. Comes in gray and red. Gray matches with everything, and red is a good statement piece if you're wearing one whole slate color and it matches with any other accessories that you have, such as a red handbag, and I'll put it on a great bold red lipstick, and that matches with any skin heels. Now, restaurant, I would not use heels unless if you're a hostess. So it varies on that. That's my whole matchmaking for shoes right there. That's how I would put myself in women's perspective when I'm buying a shoe. Now, there's a lot of shoes out there too that are more conservative. I would get, in my line, I have a conservative shoe called the Mistress, which comes in black, nude, and metallic. Metallic can be now a neutral color, which is an everyday color. and you can match that with your wardrobe. So that's my whole advice to you girls on heels and different heights for you to wear. It affects, we'll talk about heights in our next segment as well, because your walk can be affected by your height as well, and as well as your feet proportion. So that's about it for this podcast. Thank you very much. My name is Jeremy Champernouveau. You can follow me on Twitter at Lux2U. That's my personal Twitter account. Or on my designer account, which is Jeremy_design. Jeremy_designs. And my Facebook page too, which is JCD Shoes.
All right, and you all could actually follow me on Twitter as well. I am at Alvin Tan Jr. That's Jr. Alvin Tan Jr. We want to thank you for listening to the podcast, and be sure, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, please be sure to go ahead and go to jcdshoes.com and check out some of the high quality brands that Jeremy has there. Men and women, the sizes can actually go up to 15 for most of the shoes.
And don't forget to utilize on our sale. Our sale ends on June 6th, and our code is FREEDOM. That's FREEDOM, FREEDOM. And it's all capitalized, and use that coupon at the end of your purchase or before your purchase when you clicked on view cart. Yeah, utilize that, and we all love you. Thank you for listening.